Hello. Today I'm going to show you how to construct a large strainer. A strainer is stretcher bars that can't expand. Anytime you create a painting that's over 3 feet wide, you need to brace it. And so I'm going to show you how to brace the strainer. You can do it a couple different ways. You can use 1x2s like this. For anything around 3x3 feet, you could use regular stretcher bars. And if you're going to make something really large, like 6x10 feet, they have these heavy-duty stretcher bars that you can use. You could also make your own stretcher bars by using 1/2 inch quarter round and attach it to, say, a 1x3 inch board. This will keep your canvas away from the wood. So the first thing we need to do is put gussets in the corners of the strainer. And these are called gussets. I've cut plywood into triangles that we can put in the corner. You can also use angle iron, but I found that that doesn't work quite as well. This is angle iron, and I've put it on this strainer here. The braces that I've put on this one are way too large. They don't need to be that large, but I just want to show you the angle iron here. I find that gussets work the best. So what I'm going to do is put these stretcher bars together. And I'm going to put the gusset to the inside. First of all, what I need to do is make sure that that's square. With a square, or you can put it up in the door frame of a door. Make sure it's square. Then put the gusset into the corner. And then I'll mark where my screws are going to go. You just need 2 screws on each side. And I need to pre-drill those screws. You'll want to use safety glasses when you're using the screw gun. And next I'm going to put a bit in the screw gun for a Phillips screw. And tighten it up. And then I have 3/4 inch screws. And you should probably go fairly slowly. And you can put your hand on top of the screw gun to give it a little more pressure. The head doesn't need to go all the way into the wood. The important thing is that the screw doesn't go out the other side, because that could poke a hole into your canvas. All right, and you would be doing that on all 4 corners of your strainer. We're going to be doing canvases that are about 3 feet wide. So for that, your canvas should be about 3 or 4 inches extra on the outside of the canvas. Also for this one, we can just use molding for the crossbars, and they can just overlap themselves. If I was doing a really large canvas, I would do a cross-lap joint. To do a cross-lap joint, you would use a table saw, and you would make lots of cuts into the joint. And then you would take a chisel and a hammer, and you would chisel out those teeth. And then once they're chiseled out, you'd take a file and you'd file that down like this. And then I have my 2 cross-lap joints, and I would place them together. They would fit together like this. And that would make a really nice brace for the middle of your canvas. And you can see that I've also cut out some notches here that could go on the back, and then I would screw that into my strainer. But for our purposes, we can just use the molding, and I have the molding here at school that you can use. And we will also pre-drill 2 holes into the molding with a 1/16 inch bit. And then for this one, we're going to use screws that have a round head on them. The round head sits on top of the wood. You can't use these type of screws on the pine or it'll crack the pine. So what you do for this is we're going to use a screwdriver to screw them in, and if you hear it start to crack, then you want to stop. Something that also helps with this is you might want to use a little bit of soap on this. Sometimes it helps the screw to go into the hole a little better. But if we offset these holes, it also helps the wood from cracking. When we cut the molding, you're going to use this L tool, and you put it onto the wood, and that will give you a 90-degree angle. And then you're going to draw a line, and then you need to draw another line because the miter saw blade is about 1/8 of an inch wide. So you need to plan for that and make another line about 1/8 of an inch. And then we can cut that down on the miter box. And let me see. So the purpose for doing this is if you don't put the gussets in, if you don't put the braces in, your stretcher bars can actually warp inside. And so you want to keep them out, you want to keep them steady. You don't need to do this on stretcher bars that are smaller than 3 feet. And I believe that's it.